Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to yet another discussion. In my previous discussions, we have been able to discuss about emotional violence, we've been able to discuss about physical violence, and now we'll be talking about sexual violence. Did you know that most people who are in sexual relationships undergo sexual violence without their knowledge? Number 2, did you know that all form of sexual violence can be handled at a court of law and you can be able to obtain your justice accordingly? Number 3, did you know that the current police stations that we have a department of gender-based violence where we handle matters gender? Number 4, did you know that all forms of sexual violences are handled free of charge at any healthcare facilities? I guess you should know. Now, let's get deeper on sexual violences. In my practice as a healthcare worker, I've been able to experience various types of sexual violence. Sexual violence may not necessarily be penetrative, or that is vaginal or anal violence. Some people have gone to extent of even oral sexual violence, which is much more degrading. But guys, did you know that in all these forms of sexual violence, no one can be able to escape them, because there are various investigations or various thorough evaluations that are done at our healthcare facilities that help us to be able to get the culprits. Now, stay tuned. Let's learn this. In case you have been sexually harassed or sexually assaulted, it's always very important to visit a healthcare facility for evaluation and also to visit the authorities, that is a police station, for them to be able to record the criminal case. Now, when you are sexually assaulted, that is, or sexually harassed, it may be physical or it may be emotional. But now, when it involves the sexual activity, it becomes a sexual violence. Now, when it happens to be a sexual violence, one thing we always encourage, for example, let me say you have been raped. What are you supposed to do? Number 1, you should not change your clothes before you, or maybe if your clothes have been severely destroyed, you can cover yourself with a lasso and then visit a healthcare facility. Why do I say this? When you change your clothes, in the process of changing clothes, there are some genetic materials from your perpetrator that could be lost in your house. Number 2, when a sexual activity takes place and then you come with changed clothes, there are some DNA materials which could otherwise help in the investigation that could be lost. Number 3, when a sexual activity takes place, do not take a bath, or if it was an anal sexual activity, if it's possible, do not pass your stool. This will help us to be able to obtain the specimens that we need for the investigation. Number 2, it's good to realize that there is no place in this country or in this world whereby you are not allowed to walk because you will be raped. So it is not your fault that you are raped. So let no one try to convince you that this happened because why did you do this? This is why this happened to you. No one has been given any restriction to any place to justify that if you do this, you are supposed to be raped. There is no reprimand of rape for any action. Now, the other thing I say that is that if this happens and the only closest place is a police station, do not hesitate. Just visit police station. It's always important that I remind you that in the current police station that we are now having a trained police officers who are trained on gender-based violence. So when you go at the reception of any police station, please inquire and say that I want to see a gender-based violence officer, who will be able to take you to a healthcare facility whereby the investigation will be carried out and then you will be treated accordingly. Remember, the treatment on any form of sexual violence is free of charge. This is to enable you to be able to easily access these healthcare services and also to be able to initiate your search for justice. The other thing that I'll say is that if all this process happens successfully, it's always important to ensure that at the healthcare facility, a PID form has been duly filled. Number 2, a post-rape care form has been duly filled. And number 3, investigation samples have been collected. It's the duty of your investigating officer, that is the police officer, to ensure that the investigation have been done at the healthcare facility and some samples have been collected for government chemists and DNA analysis. Are we together at this point? I know you could be having so many questions. If you have any other form of question, please drop it at the comment section and I'll be able to address it to you individually or at this forum. Thank you and God bless. Bye bye. This is Isaac, Simple and Clear.